All right. Hey, everybody. As you can see, it's me and Carrie. We just ended our first Pet Loss Grief Circle for 2026. We're not 100% sure when we're going to share this video, so just know if it's a little bit later, it's okay. It's coming to you when it was meant to come to you. um, yeah. So, Carrie, I want you to talk a little bit about why we do the grief circles and what they help with and what they mean, like that, and also your intention that you set for them at the very beginning when you came up with the idea. And yes, I'm throwing that at you.
The biggest reason and why is that y'all like what happens in the heart impacts every single thing. Like there is no separation, and we have all experienced grief of some sort. And what I have noticed in my grief, be it human, animals, life, identity, right? Like the loss is the loss is the loss. But if I do not get to name it, if I do not get to process it, if I do not know how to be with it, right? Not so much letting go, but more of a being with it and allowing it to be with me in whatever shape it takes on and form, I become unwell. I become heavy and hard and dysregulated. And I look out in the world and I see that. And there's no judgment coming from my heart, but a very big radical compassion of like, we don't have to stay heavy and hard and dysregulated. And maybe, just maybe, the ways in which we can start to process a little bit more of the hard things that we endure in our human experiences is by gathering together, coming together, having that shared compassion and love so we can open ourselves up to the grief, so we can open ourselves to the gratitude, so we can open ourselves up to the fact that none of us are alone in this. Yet when I say that, I feel like so much is done in isolation, being alone. We need each other. We need each other. So personally, maybe even like selfishly, but selflessly too, like I didn't have space. I didn't have room. I didn't have someone to like nod and affirm to me that I'm not cuckoo crazy. These are real things and they impact my daily life from here on out, from loss, from change, from the big grief of our lives and our heart. And also, it's all love, baby. Like, and love changes me for the better. And to hear folks name how much they've loved an animal and how they're open and receptive to how that love continues in its new form and shapes, right? Like, that restores my faith in a lot of things. Right now, I'm very much struggling as I walk the world and live in my body and experience life with all of its hardships and what feels like very inhumane conditioning. So, to come together with a group of folks and people who are very like hearted, um, it's important. It's like salve, right? Like it's a balm on the wound, and I don't feel as heavy or hard afterwards when I have someone that I can be heart to heart with.
Yeah. And like today, I mean, it's always amazing and wonderful to be able to hold that space for people and the animals to share, to reconnect, to do all of that, because it's hard enough in our culture to honor grief. And I say this a lot. And then to have like pet loss grief that is very much not, people are not open to allow this space that, and people create friendships in these groups and things like that too, to be able to do this with people, for people and the animals is just, I think it helps. I'll just say, I'm not want to speak for you, but I do think it helps us, because when we are like, I know just with the holidays and everything, it's just been really sloggy second year without my dad. And so to be able to do this work with people, for people, also helps, you know, raise my vibration for a little bit, see, oh, the understanding of grief helps pay it forward for those experiencing it too, right? So I always think that's really interesting. And also too, what I really liked today in particular was the themes. I wrote down the themes of changes in one's life, the shifts in one life, but allowing for that space in the shift, between the shifts, all of that which can mean so many things, whether it was, changing location, changing jobs. Those were things that came up today, or changing the fact that your animal no longer greets you at the door. Those are all changes and shifts. And the animals were all saying, and you're doing it, you're moving with it, you're in it, and giving yourself credit for just that too, which isn't just, right? I hate to put the word just in there, but just the language gets so limiting. you know, I thought that was so amazing how all of that was what was transpiring with the people, and how the animals were all showing up. And then the animals were cross-humaning, if you will. Like, it's like, oh, wait, no, this is also for you. And then, oh, wait, this isn't your animal, but it's for you. And it was, which we've seen before. It just felt even more powerful for some reason too today. So,
Yeah, 2026, we jump started. Like, we've been doing this, I feel like, for 2 years. I'm really bad with time, so I apologize. But like, wow, today was not in, like I ever compare those circles in the past, but today was very, very special and sacred. And I love what you're naming and what they name, and they make it so clear to us is like this weaving and this web and this interconnectivity. We are not separate from anyone or anything. We're in these bodies. We have skin. It feels like a barrier, right? Here's where I begin. Here's where I end. When really, like, we are soul, and our souls are touching each other's souls in the most profound and beautiful ways. But like you said, if my vibration is low, if I am dysregulated, if I feel like odd one out, can't name this, can't be who I am, can't say how I feel, language is limiting, so sometimes I just make a sound effect or show you with my body, but like it just called, brings us down.
mm,
This, even though it might sound like grief, you're doing a grief circle, but like it gives me joy, it gives me purpose. There's service here. And I feel like the animals also always name to all the humans in the house. Like, we all have great work to do in our own authentic, vibrant, beautiful ways, and that we can counter the culture and the norms that have conditioned us to maybe think that we have to stay in a lane, or, this was the idea of what I would do, so I need to stay with that, or I can't grieve this because it's just an animal, right? Minimizing the relationship when this is like pure and potent love. It's powerful. I see the
yeah.
web, and I almost see the web like a safety net, just catching us all in a gentle little bounce as we keep moving forward. They
Hmm.
want us to keep moving forward. They
Yeah.
want us to celebrate grief of an animal, grief of whatever. I mean, I think it's huge and courageous that we put socks on, that we take our feet and move off the bed and put them on the ground for the day, that we lift our heart up, that we make a choice, we drink the water, we eat the food, right? Like, we're continuing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said something that just reminded me too. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about doing, there's the other grief thing that I do here in town with the yoga place. And we were talking about doing things maybe a little differently. And some of the feedback we got is like, well, when we do these, I only want to talk about this kind of grief, or I only want to talk about this kind of grief. And we talked it through, and we ended up in a place where it was like, we have enough separation in our world. Why would we separate grief when we don't even acknowledge that it exists? So to have a space where we can talk about, because even today, even though it was fueled by pet loss grief, there's that word again, fuel kept coming up, but it was fueled by pet loss grief. There was other grief in there too.
Oh, oh yeah.
And so how to compartmentalize grief creates even more separation, which is what humanity is trying to reconcile right now anyway, is this separation from nature, this separation from all it is, that separation from one another. So if grief can be a catalyst to bring us back together as we do in the circles, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
Yes, like let's not limit, let's not minimize, let's not have an idea of what we think grief is, and then, oh my gosh, that's not what it feels like for me, so I must be wrong, right? Like, let's just breathe into it, which is so vulnerable and so courageous. And we need these rituals, like back before our modern society, like people gathered in their grief, right? Like we held each other through it. It takes a village. But I feel like so much of the modern world has caused us, to be separate or, be in these unhealthy ego identities of different or whatever it is, when it's like we need these sort of rituals. And I feel
Mhm.
blessed because some folks are really gravitating to the ritual. There's folks that come month to month, right? And they get to share with us this journey of their grief. And what I love is it's not linear. Healing is not linear. I wish it was A to B to C, but it's really like, and we get to be in that space and listen and hold that person alongside us who's like, might have been here at one point in the grief circle and then they're over here today, and they're in their process.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you just said that. I wish grief was A to B. I'm like, oh, like a checklist, because checklists kept coming up today too for different people. So yeah.
Ish, but that's not how it works. That's not how love works. It's not a checklist, it's an embodiment, it's a practice, it's learning to stay centered in a world that wants to keep us as fluxed and fragmented and dissociated as possible. And I got to pause there because it is not the world. And I keep saying that, right? It's the world. It's not the world. It's human minds.
Great.
And
Yeah.
I think
Thank
when
you.
we
Yeah.
change the heart, we change the mind.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
But
Cool.
I would love to name that today. It was very special. So today, kicking off 2026 with Julie here in our full house, filled up yet again, which, wow, what a blessing. That says to me something. That says to me that this is needed, this is necessary. Again, this ritual, this gathering place. But we had a couple firsts. Like we had our first time having youth, someone younger than adult age 18, 8-year old grieving their dog, and listening to that reading changed me. The innocence, the pureness, and also knowing that this 8-year old now has something permanently woven within them that nobody can take. Like this radical knowing that my friend is with me, protecting me, wanting me to be my creative self. Like, I'm getting chillies just talking about that. We had a rhino, a spirit of a rhino in the house, which just feels so aligned to like we're moving forward. We're moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
You want to name whose spirit was in the house? Because this was a big one.
Yeah, we had a visit from, we had a visit from Jane Goodall today, which I was like, wait, what?
The
Yeah.
embodiment of humanity
Yeah. Yeah.
visiting us
Mm-hmm.
as we tend to our own humanity and hearts.
Yeah. Yep.
We had someone here who has waited 40 years of their life to name their grief.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just get emotional, even like.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's so interesting and I love is like when we close the circle, there's smiles. There's conversations where folks are like, hey, this for them. Hey, that for, it is again this web that like we move through a practice together of being real, being tender, going in,
Mm-hmm.
and then how like the joy spirals with us as we come out.
Yeah. 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 Because the animals are making us laugh throughout, making fun of themselves, all of it. Yeah. In an effort to just allow the grief to move, right? Because when we can raise our vibration a bit, the grief has space to move, not necessarily to move out, but to give us space to breathe with it, to, oh, okay, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
It
just
was
want
fun.
to say thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. And as always, right, I don't remember as we get further from it, then I have all the cords are being cut. So it's like a hill. So I'm glad you remember all that because I don't. Yeah.
You are so gifted in your channeling and your ability to communicate. Like I hope you do give yourself some like radical acknowledgement of you stepping into your power and how powerful that is for these folks that step into your spaces, not just here singular to the pet loss grief, and how that allows other folks to keep stepping into their power, which I think that also is always like a common theme here, is like stepping into our power. We are powerful people, but yes, grief just sometimes causes me to forget.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. And right back at you. Yeah. Thank you for helping people move with and breathe in. And then even how you ground the whole circle with the cards that just reinstate everything. It's amazing. Yeah.
So folks, please know if you're watching this, like I imagine we all know the hardship that happens from losing an animal through the process of the loss of the body, but we do not lose the heart connection, the spiritual connection. It just changes. And I also am familiar with like, change takes time and practice. And again, the processing to meet that newness of how the relationship is.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Beautiful.
So this
Yeah.
space is available, y'all. We are doing every third Saturday of the month, 1 p.m. Eastern. We would love to have you a part of it if that feels like something you want to do. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been a part of it for the last 2+ years. Like,
Yeah.
wow, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for letting us be of service. Thanks for letting the animals have say. Thanks for honoring that connection that you still have, always will have. Yeah. Thank you for on so many levels. Thank you.